What is going on, guys, and welcome to this FIFA 16 news video. EA have just released some new features that have been introduced into FIFA 16 Career Mode, and I decided that I should make a video on it because I am obviously a Career Mode YouTuber. So I thought, let's have a look at some of the new features and give my opinions. So without any further ado, let's head straight into the first one and see what they're doing with the game. Starting off, we have pre-season tournaments. As you can see on the screen right now, what we have is a pre-season tournament invite for Mr. John Smith in a Liverpool career mode. You can then advance to your invites and see what tournaments you've been invited to play in, or decline to participate. This is one of the biggest introductions into career mode that has been done in a while, as it does allow you to have proper meaning to pre-season. Before, you played 3 games and then you were straight into the season and it just seemed pointless. This is going to make it much more exciting, as each pre-season tournament has its own prize money. So if you win the tournament, you get an extra bonus to your transfer budget, which would help you a lot during the season. I don't know whether it's just going to be the big clubs that get invited to tournaments, such as the big clubs like Arsenal, people like that, like Liverpool here, or whether everyone can get invited to a tournament. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll soon find out. Having a look at the second image for the pre-season tournaments is 3 different tournaments that you can enter: the Asian Elite Cup, the Champions Trophy, and the Invitational Cup. As you can see, this is being done in a Borussia Dortmund career mode, and each tournament has its own difficulty, and obviously the higher difficulty, the more prize money you get. You can even see the teams that are going to be involved in the tournament. Looks like they're all going to be 8-team tournaments, so we don't need 8 quarterfinal, semi-final, final. And you'll see the difference in difficulty depends on obviously which teams are in there, such as the Asian Elite Cup has PSG, Juventus, Roma, Chelsea, Barcelona, along with 2 teams who I don't know. I think one of them might be American. I can't tell. The Champions Trophy there, slightly easier with Boca Juniors and Lyon, AC Milan, Porto, Galatasaray. Fairly good teams, and a prize money of 10 million euros. Compared to the Asian League Cup, which has 11.5 million euros. Then we go to the Invitational Cup, which has difficulty of 4 stars, set in Korea. The other 2 are set in Argentina, and I believe that's Saudi Arabia. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. And the teams involved in that one are Stoke City, Besiktas, Arsenal, Lazio, and the other 3 teams I do not know. Although one looks like Genk, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think pre-season tournaments is a massive introduction to career mode, and I think it also adds to the entire pre-season, makes them more fun. It makes them actually usable. So let's move on straight from pre-season tournaments into another big update, and we'll see what we think of that one. Up next, EA have announced a massive introduction to career mode, something which has been requested by fans for a very, very long time, for the past 2 or 3 FIFAs, I'd say, and that is player training. We have been asking for so long to be able to train individual players for certain things, and EA have finally listened and added it in. As you can see, I think they said that every week you can select up to 5 players to train in a certain aspect. Right here we have one that's been simulated, as you can see. We have Herman doing beat your man as a winger. You want him to beat the man, so you can train him in that, and it trains in your dribbling, ball control, stamina, which is amazing, and agility, which is awesome. We then have Nordveld, which is Eldorado. I'm going to guess that's all round. He's a CDM and he's learning interceptions, marking, slide tackle, and stand tackle. Again, key elements of a CDM. Learning that very well, and he gets a 1+ on the stat if he does the training successfully. We then have Youngster, who is obviously a centre-back, and he's learning interceptions, slide tackling, and stand tackling. Obviously, one-on-one defending, you do need those. We then have Rafael, a centre-forward, learning dribbling, ball control, and stamina once again, doing a dribble course. And that is a massive thing for career mode, as now you can give players who don't have good stamina decent stamina, which is amazing. For example, right now I'm doing a career mode off camera on FIFA 15 where I have a young player who has 60 stamina, but he's a winger. So I would like to be able to train him to get better stamina, but I have to hope that his stat just goes up. Using this new aspect of career mode, I'll be able to give that guy stamina training and make sure he can last longer in games. Brilliant addition to the career mode, and I'm looking forward to using it. Looking at the second image for this is looking at Oscar doing different aspects. You are given suggested training, obviously by your assistant manager. He suggests that Oscar should learn how to keep possession, which is a hard difficulty. Close control, which is easy. speed dribbling, which is medium, or beat your man, which is hard. I think these are going to be very good because you can actually play them, and they look like they're in the aspect of the mini games as you can get the skill games in FIFA right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they go. Obviously we have different tabs at the top there as well, which is dribbling, defending, passing, shooting, and set pieces, which looks good. So maybe we could train someone to be better at free kicks or whipping in corners, and that would be a very good addition to Career Mode. It's been asked again for a long time, and I think this is going to be a very welcome addition. But let's move on to some things which are a little bit smaller. You know, they're not as big, but let's just see how they fare up to these. Something which has been added along with the player training and the preseason tournaments is players to watch, which looks quite unique. It looks like every time you get like a game against a rival for something, they pick out 2 key players for the clubs, which you have to keep an eye out for. And in this game, Chelsea v Man City, the 2 key players they've picked is Eden Hazard and Sergio Aguero, even giving their position, their age, their height, their weight, and even their nationality for some reason. But I think this is a very cool little feature. You know, you wouldn't be upset if it wasn't there. You wouldn't even notice it, but it's not something people ask for a lot. But I think it's just a nice thing to add in. You know, big game. Will the key players turn up? And particularly Eden Hazard and Sergio Aguero, who are kind of the key goal scorers for their respective clubs. So I think it's quite of a good addition. You know, it's small, but it's still quite good. So let's move on to the other things which EA announced on their website, which are the very tiny things, but in my view add a lot to the game. So let's have a look at those. Okay guys, some small additions which have been added to Career Mode, which EA just put at the bottom of their website page, which looks pretty cool. These are some bullet points which they added saying what they've added. You can now sign free agents outside of the transfer window, which is fantastic. That way if you get a big injury and you need someone to replace them, but maybe your team isn't good enough, so you think maybe I need some backup in case he isn't good enough, you can sign a free agent now quickly, and then maybe you can just sell him later, which in my view is a very, very good addition. Scout reports. After scouting a player, reports are available to you now for an entire calendar year before expiring versus 3 months in FIFA 15. Once again, a very good addition to Career Mode. They've adjusted the amount of time that a report stays with you. For example, FIFA 15, you could scout a very good young player, but then 3 months later, that scout report just vanishes. You now have it for an entire year, meaning you have 2 transfer windows available to sign him, or you can scout him again. A transfer budget. Transfer budgets are now more realistically tailored to the club you're using in Career Mode. Also, a percentage of the remaining budget from the previous season will carry over to the next, and will vary based on where your club finished in regards to season goals. A welcome addition to Career Mode. Many times have I been at the end of a season, I've got so much money from winning tournaments, I've got about 10 million I'll say for a club in the Championship to now go to the Premier League, and that 10 million would be very, very useful. I go with Wolves, for example, and I'm right in the Premier League and I get 2 million. You know, it's not enough to survive, and I end up going down because I'm always like playing on a very high difficulty and I'm not very good at FIFA. So a very welcome addition, meaning I'll carry over a bit of my money, which is awesome. Loans have also been adjusted, so short loans have now increased from 3 months to 6 months, which is amazing. That way you can have a player from, say, August to January, and if he doesn't feel like a good fit, he just goes away. However, if you want to keep him, you immediately can get him back. You don't have to wait another 3 months if you felt he was a good addition. Also, there's now an option to issue 2-year loans. This, of course, has come off the back of the Fernando Torres 2-year loan to Milan and the Stefan Jovetic 2-year loan deal, which is now 18 months at Inter Milan. You know, this have happened in real life, so EA responded by saying, you can now do a 2-year loan, which in my view is kind of pointless. You know, if you want to have a 2-year loan, just go ahead and buy the guy. You know, it's going to go up in value by the time you reach the 2 years, so you're going to have to pay more anyway. So you must as well pay the price and keep him for 2 years, and along that. One of the biggest additions, which in my view has been a long time coming, is the friendly subs. You will now be able to issue an unlimited number of substitutions during friendly matches. Thank you, EA. Many times have we been annoyed that you can go onto your friendlies and you have to only use 3 subs. The idea of friendlies in real life is you gain fitness and you get to see all your players. So now you could be able to issue an unlimited number. So that means you could play your entire youth team and then bring on your experienced players in the second half, or vice versa. experience in first half, then youth in second half, and you'll be able to see all your players in one match, and then with the preseason tournaments as well, they're going to come together quite nicely. More realistic transfers. While the transfer window is open, we have tuned the number of high-profile moves by big players to better match the number of changes that typically happen in the real world. Once again, this is something which I think is going to help Career Mode a lot, because I am getting tired of seeing the same moves happen over and over and over again. Maybe that'll still happen, but maybe on a lower scale. For example, I always see Sergio Aguero go to either Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich. He normally goes to one of them, and it just gets so annoying to see, because it's like, it's not going to happen. You know, it doesn't happen in real life. Now, the things like that just don't happen. So now that EA have finally addressed it, maybe it's going to see a lot more improvement. And the final thing they've addressed is improved player transfer values. They've addressed values of players to better match the real-world transfer market. A very, very unique addition, because I don't know what this is going to mean, whether players are going to be more expensive, for example, like Gareth Bale, because he went to Real Madrid for 18 million, maybe EA are going to make his price value over 18 million. Now, we don't know. We'll find out. And then the final bullet point was, and much more. So they are planning to announce a lot more, and maybe I'll do a second video on this later on. But for now, guys, before I end the video, I must make sure that I tell you that all these changes are unique to the next gen consoles, or current gen I suppose right now, so the PS4, Xbox One and PC. So if you're on 360 and you're on PS3, you're still going to get the game, but some of the features obviously aren't going to be there. Top of the page, I will give this a direct quote. This is: Career Mode in FIFA 16 delivers 2 of our community's most requested features, updates, and many other key changes, as I've already said. And then in brackets says available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC only. So I'm sorry to you guys who don't have one yet, but maybe you could get it on with the game, and then you can get all the new features. But I'm pretty sure it's still going to be good on the old consoles. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please do leave a like, please leave a comment, and subscribe for some more FIFA 16 gameplay, and also some news stories. And I will see you all in another video.